Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, everyone. As we know that Pakistan is member state of United Nations Conventions on Transnational Organized Crime, which is commonly known as Palermo Convention. Pakistan has acceded TIP protocols and also make national legislation in line with the TIP protocols on trafficking in persons. So we adopted TIP Act in 2018 and rules in 2020. So as far as recommendations is concerned regarding make effective implementation of law and to combat crimes against trafficking in persons. So there are mainly 5 areas. One, anomalies which lies in national legislation in the form of trafficking in persons that should be addressed, especially in 2 areas. One is penal provisions, because in penal provisions there is imprisonment as well as fines. So as far as our court and prosecution processes are concerned, the temperament normally lies in the form of imposing fines. So second one aspect is to increase penalties. As the previous panels discussed, that the less penalties are the source of encouragement for offenders against the crime of trafficking in persons. So law should be amended, and provisions, penal provisions must be make more stringent against the traffickers. First, and second aspect which make prosecution process weak is that the consent of the victim in our law is considered immaterial for the victim against the victims who are in the category of child below 18 years. Now the consent should be incorporated in law to make it immaterial, so that the defense version of the by the trafficker should not be taken in the court of law for their acquittal. So second aspect is coordinative mechanism. Pakistan has notified coordinative mechanism at national, provincial, and even at district level. So as far as district level is concerned, which we know in the form of DVC, district vigilance committees. So every month, every district head who is a deputy commissioner is duty bound to conduct meeting of all stakeholders at provincial level who are involved to combat the crimes of trafficking in persons. If we see the figure, there are only 408 meetings so far conducted during the last year in 2023. And out of these 408 meetings, 368 were conducted in Punjab, 25 were conducted in KPK, and only 4 were conducted by Sindh and Balochistan. So this point has also been highlighted by the US report that DVCs should be more practical to make effective prosecution against this crime. And third one is capacity building of key stakeholders who are involved in combating these crimes, especially provincial police, FIA. These are prosecuting agencies. And as far as other stakeholders is concerned, like labor department, social welfare department, and child protection departments, the capacity building of the personnel of all these stakeholders is important, because still the law enforcement and other stakeholders are not well aware regarding the implementation of the TIP laws. And along with capacity building, the awareness raising amongst the general public is very important. But as far as we do not make realization amongst the masses against this crime, we cannot combat this crime in an effective way. And as far as the fourth aspect, in my view, is concerned, that is the establishment of national hotline and national referral mechanism. These two things are actually in the is one thing. National hotline where any victim or any citizen can report his case to be initiated against the traffickers is an important. And as far as the national referral mechanism is concerned, that is associated aspect with national hotline, because when complaint is registered at national hotline, that complaint will be referred to the relevant forum, that is either provincial police or FIA or labor or social or child protection department, so that issue should be properly addressed in an appropriate way. uh, these are points from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for the presentations. The floor is open for question answers. Do we have questions from the audience? Okay, I see one hand raised. Any other? We'll take all the questions together and then they can answer. Okay. We'll start from the back. Can the ushers move towards that table, and then we'll move up front.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Ishan Haider from Khaplu, Gilgit-Baltistan. Actually, I have seen that all the stakeholders are talking about the implementation of policies, and each stakeholder is acknowledging that there are laws present for such issues. But the problem the agencies, the institutions, and stakeholders are facing at the implementation stage. Even the institutions whose main job and responsibilities are to ensure the implementation of these policies are also talking that we need to make sure the implementation of these policies. So I mean, what is the solution for this scenario? What are the possible and the most encountered challenges they are facing at the implementation stage? Thank you.
Thank you for this question. The clear answer for this is that implementation process is not that easy when you implement laws, because you need certain environment and culture to implement the laws first. Second, as stated by the presenter here, that we have implemented many of the laws in the field, but still there are many laws which need to be revised. So this is an ongoing process, and I'm sure that with the passage of time, all the laws will be implemented by the agencies who are working on ground.
If I can add to this question, as has been mentioned, that there's lack of capacity and also in our organizations. Different departments like police, provincial police, labor department, prosecution. So there are certain hitches in implementation of these laws as well. So we need to also build capacity of our law enforcement agencies to see that this law is implemented fully. Thank you.
There is the last leg of implementation that I would like to mention, and that is the accountability. So we see that all the law enforcement agencies responsible for the implementation of all the laws are present before you. But despite the presence, efficacy, and day-to-day work, laws are not implemented. Two reasons may be cited out. Number one is existing law enforcement agencies are bounded by a plethora of different works, maybe related to security duties, election duties, polio duties, and number of other duties. But at the same time, I want to acknowledge one more thing, and that is lack of accountability. For example, if an agency is held accountable of not implementing a certain crime, then not implementing a certain law, then the results would be very obvious. We see that there is no accountability of all the trafficking that is happening cross-border or even within internal. So it reminds me of what Pablo Neruda once said, that सुनो तुम अदालत पे जाने से पहले, सुनो तुम सफारत पे जाने से पहले, दिखाओ हमें अपने अमाल नामे, कयामत के दिन और खुदा पर न छोड़ो, खुदा से ये लोग डरते नहीं हैं, इसी चौक पे खून बहता रहा है, इसी चौक पे जालिमों को पकड़ कर सजा दो, सजा दो, सजा दो. So accountability is very much necessary.
I want to add a little more. In Punjab, we have registered 788 cases, and 796 accused have been arrested. So implementing the policy is not such a problem. The problem arises when we do not eradicate the problems which comes in the way of implementing the policy. What we give them punishment, what we define bonded labor, what is forced sex, these are the main criteria of the tip. When you are clear in your mind, okay, what is bonded labor, when you arrest the brick kiln people who employ labor, or it is called bonded labor. When you ask them, ask from the labor, are you bonded? They simply reply, we are not bonded. We have taken advances from the owner and we are doing by our own will. So what is bonded labor and what is willful labor? You are supposed to define it. And after definition, when you go for it, for the criteria of the tip, then you are supposed to define the punishments and fine and enhancing the punishments. Then those question arises. Implementing in such a way that you have arrested large people, so you cannot say that in implementation we are failing. It is in progress and it is still enhancing. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Do we have questions at the back? Okay.
Yeah, my name is Atif, and I really appreciate one of your recommendations, that is district vigilance committees. So this is the way forward. In organizations like many, we have like whistleblowing policy, speak up policy, but I would like to seek your guidance on it, that how would you activate and operationalize like district vigilance committees, and how would you add the role of a religious cleric, that is imam masjid, जो कि हमारे ही वो चीज़ों के ऊपर अपनी जो चीज़ों को चल रहा होता है, लेकिन उसका खुतबा और उसकी जो चीज़ें हैं, that carries a lot of significance. So I appreciate your recommendation, but would like to seek guidance on how to operationalize it at the district or at tehsil level. Thank you.
Okay, I think I will answer this question with this, that the district vigilance committees are meant to gather all the stakeholders present at the district level to be aware of the situation and then to address the issue at the grassroots level. Second thing is that there are many issues which can be addressed at the district level, at the tehsil level or the police station level. So we have seen that we have made laws, we have created policies, but when it comes to implementation, at the down level, we are not capable enough to implement those policies. For example, I would say that there is a trend that most of the complainants in these cases where we have smuggling of migrants, they are interested only into have their cases registered or their complaints registered, and then in the later stages, they are more interested in the recovery of the amount they pay to the people, instead of going for the legal action or the punitive action. So such kind of use, of course, if you have your ingress at the district level or tehsil level, so you can educate people and you can make them aware all of your campaigns which you carry out. So I think this is the main purpose, and I would ask my colleagues to further enlighten you.
Your suggestion is very relevant, and we have recommended that this subject matter should be taken up in district vigilance committees or district intelligence committees. There exist district intelligence committees, and what's needed is just to take up this matter in those committees and meetings. And I would recommend that from the platform of SSDO, that as a resolution for this year, that your recommendation should be taken up, and this must be made mandatory for district intelligence committees to discuss and take up this matter as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other question?
I want to add something.
Ji, sir.
Okay, we have registered a large number of cases, and who are the complainants? If we gather this statistical data, we come to know that the effectees themselves don't know what is they are being affected. We get the complaints from the labor department and from the other agencies, but not from the effectee. So awareness campaign, if it enhances, or awareness campaign is, if it is expanded all over the Pakistan, then it will be more easier, and district vigilance committee, which comes under the jurisdiction of DC, so it can play a vital role in the implementing these laws. Thank you.
Right, very quickly, we'll take one more question. Okay, I see 2 hands raised. So please make sure it's short. Can the ushers move towards it?
Consent of the victim has a double-edged weapon, just like the motive of the offender. It sometimes gives benefit to the defense, but it sometimes gives benefit to the accused. So if you are giving protection to the victim by disregarding her consent, don't you think so that it would undermine the independent role of the investigation? Because it is the role of the investigation to determine whether she is the accused party, or she is the consenting party, or she is really the victim. In a lot of the cases where in brothel house has been run in participation, she is like the partner in the brothel house. How could the law regarded her victim?
Thank you. I think again, I would request the audience please to go through the laws and the definitions of smuggling and trafficking, right? So trafficking is a crime where the person who is not giving his consent or her consent, and he is deceited or exploited by giving some jobs or things like this, and then later on they are exploited sexually or in a bonded labor thing. Whereas smuggling is, of course, when the person is smuggled, he knows that he is being smuggled to another country through illegal crossings. But still, the law says that that person who is smuggled is still a victim of the circumstances. So he is treated as a victim, and this is the policy and law. Whereas in trafficking, of course, the person is totally exploited, and it's not known about the ulterior motives of the people who are going to traffic him. So this is the basic difference.
Right, one last question and then we'll end the session.
To bond.
You're audible.
Hello, okay. So there was this case which was highlighted a lot in the media recently, Sardar Khetirani case from Balochistan. Previously, there was media reporting that he has private prisons. And then this lady came up, she recorded her testimony or sort of a video, how her children are being abused and murdered. Nothing really happened. Like, this is one case I can quote because it was there in media. And this is somehow common knowledge that private prisons are pretty much operational in Balochistan, and I'm sure in other provinces as well. So why are we so helpless? What is the state doing to take these people to account? How can a private prison exist in the first place? So is there anything, any development on that front? Thank you.
So do you want to answer that very quickly, please?
Simply a great question. This problem didn't happen like in Balochistan, it's prevalent in other provinces also. And the dilemma was that the law was not attracted in that case as well. So when we say that we need to have capacity building and awareness among the people, so it inculcates like awareness of the whole society, not just the victim, but the whole society, like mass media, the judiciary, prosecution, investigation, everybody has to be brought to this thing that this crime which really occurred can also fall under the TIP Act, and there we have more strict present punishments for these. So this awareness campaign simply like is for benefit of the society to know about this law. So when we recommend that there should be awareness campaigns, so we need to understand that the whole society needs to understand this law. So this again, this is the shortcoming we are facing.
And secondly, your question, is more relevant to. It's a very complex thing. The things you are asking are very complex. In some cases, in bonded labor, even the people, they consent first that they will be working here in the fields, on the kilns, brick kilns. But later on, when they are not able to fulfill their, the requirements of the owners, then it becomes a bonded labor thing. And the other thing that there are prisons, illegal prisons, people are keeping this. I think there is no law which is allowing people to have prisons. And if there's something happening like this, I think the law should be there.
One last comment.
Yes,
before
one
we
last
get on.
comment. According to a report, why social participation to combat this crime is important. According to a report in Pakistan, there are more than 300,000 victims of trafficking in persons, according to a report. But previous year, in 2023, we identified just 29,000 victims of trafficking in persons. So if we really want to combat this crime, to eradicate this crime from our society, the role of society, the role of public participation is very important, because identification of victims at a massive level can only be carried out by the society.